Yo, what is up guys? Del Boy here. So this Saturday marks the long-awaited return of Oleksandr Usyk. He will be fighting Tyrone Spong at the Wintrust Arena in Chicago. This is Oleksandr Usyk's heavyweight debut as a professional boxer. I have to say, despite not being too impressed with the opponents, I am looking forward to seeing Oleksandr Usyk return to the ring. He is one of my favourite fighters in the sport. I believe he's got one of the most entertaining styles in the sport. And for me as a boxing fan, I just struggle how any fan could dislike this guy. The guy became an undisputed cruiserweight champion in a very quick period of time. He won all of his titles on the road and he fought good competition. So, Oleksandr Usyk is one of those fighters where I just can't understand anybody disliking him, to be honest with you. But, each to their own, I guess. As I mentioned, Tyrone Spong, not the opponent I really was anticipating. And I really don't think he's great. I'm not going to sit here and tell you otherwise. I'm not going to make him out to be something he's not. I don't think this guy is a top 20, top 25 heavyweight, in all honesty. Tyrone Spong was a very good kickboxer. He is a tough man, but as a professional boxer, from what I've seen, he's not really that impressive. He's not even a big heavyweight. He's around 6'2". He does carry a bit of power, but he really is basic. He's kind of cumbersome, and technically, he is light years away from Oleksandr Usyk. It's night and day. This is a mismatch in terms of pure boxing ability. And I expect it to play out as such, to be honest with you. I mean, put this in perspective, Tyrone Spong really struggled with Yatalo Pereira. Now, I know Spong picked up an injury in that fight, but Yatalo Pereira, is a really low-level guy, and he got blasted out in a round by Martin Bakole. That puts it in perspective. Tyrone Spong, he's not operating at top 20, top 25 level. He's light years behind Oleksandr Usyk in terms of skill set, athletic ability, etc. And he's even the smaller man. He literally has no advantages going into this fight. Maybe he's got more power in terms of one-punch stopping power, but even that is debatable. I mean, Tyrone Spong really hasn't fought anybody of any note. So, despite him having a good knockout ratio, it's even hard to really take that seriously. To be honest with you, the best guy he fought, he went the distance with, and that was Yatalo Pereira. That was a split decision. So there you go. I fully expect Oleksandr Usyk to get the job done and get it done in good fashion. I would expect a mid-round stoppage from Oleksandr Usyk. I believe he will use Tyrone Spong as almost a blank canvas. I think we'll see him using those angles, throwing those combinations, getting in and out, and he'll fight his usual fight. Ultimately, he's going to put a beating on Tyrone Spong, and I believe Spong will be stopped in the mid-rounds. I think he's tough enough to go a few rounds. I do think Spong is durable, and he is legitimately a tough man. In kickboxing, he done a lot of stuff. He got a lot of accolades. So the guy's tough. He's a rugged dude. He's fairly durable. I'm not taking that away from him, and I do think he'll go a few rounds, but he's got nothing for Oleksandr Usyk. And, the fact he's smaller than Usyk is a little bit disappointing. On Usyk's pro debut, I would have liked to have seen him fight somebody slightly bigger than himself. Just to gauge where he's at in the heavyweight division, just to give us a better idea. But, we're stuck with Tyrone Spong. Not the best opponent, but I am still looking forward to seeing Oleksandr Usyk fight. And I can't be too harsh on Usyk, considering that the guy always looks to fight good opposition. He did try to fight Carlos Takam for his heavyweight debut. Carlos Takam pulled out. He also looked at Alexander Povetkin. Povetkin didn't want any part of it. So by no means am I blaming Usyk, but as a fan, I just wanted something a bit better. But that wasn't to be. We are stuck with Tyrone Spong, so I will deal with it. I'll watch it and I'm sure I will enjoy it. Let's briefly mention what else is on this card. Dmitry Bivol defends his WBA light heavyweight title. He is fighting a man by the name of Lenin Castillo. Lenin Castillo is a fringe contender at best. He's most well known for losing to Marcus Brown. He did knock down Marcus Brown in that fight, but he lost that fight comfortably, and the guy has nothing for Dmitry Bivol. This really is a disappointing opponent for Bivol, and I do worry about Bivol's career. I made a video about it in the past. Should he leave Eddie Hearn? I mean, on DAZN, he's kind of struggling for opponents. Beterbiev, Vodzik, they are over on ESPN. Kovalev is obviously fighting Canelo. Even guys like Ilya Alvarez, Jesse Hart, Gilberto Ramirez, all of these guys are on ESPN. You know, Dmitry Bivol's options at DAZN look quite limited right now. And he's fighting the likes of Lenin Castillo right now. I am a bit worried about his career and his future, to be honest with you. I rate Bivol extremely highly, as anybody who follows this channel knows. I think he's very good. I think on his day he can beat anybody in the light heavyweight division. But being with DAZN may result in him struggling to prove that. Why would the ESPN guys leave ESPN to fight Bivol on DAZN when they can fight each other and keep it in-house? I don't think that's going to happen, so I am worried about Bivol's future right now as a fan of boxing and as a guy who rates him extremely highly. I want to see him in the mix, but I think that could be doubtful right now. Hopefully Lenin Castillo is a one-off. Hopefully after this we can get a solid opponent. But there we go, that's just my opinion on Dmitry Bivol. You also have Jessica McCaskill versus Erika Annabella Farias. That is a women's super lightweight title fight. As you guys know, I've got no interest in women's boxing. Jessica McCaskill, she's cute and all, but I won't watch that fight. Charles Conwell at super welterweight, he's a prospect, 10-0. He's stepping up by fighting Patrick Day. Patrick Day's a decent fighter at super welterweight. That's a good step up. That's something to look out for. And other than that, you've got a few prospects on the undercard. Anthony Sims Jr., Ofer Jones the third, Reshet Mati, you know, the likes of those guys are on the undercard. Also, TJ Dehaney makes his comeback following that defeat to Danny Roman back in April, I want to say. Danny Roman versus TJ Dehaney, if you've not seen it, great fight, go and watch it. But he also makes his comeback on this card. So the card itself has got a few good names, but in terms of competitive matchups, there's really not that many, it has to be said. Not a great card, but I am looking forward to seeing Oleksandr Usyk back in the ring. It's nearly been a year since this guy last fought. He last fought back in November against Tony Bellew. You know, he will be returning to the ring next weekend, which is October the 12th. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on Usyk versus Tyrone Spong and also the undercard. Share your thoughts below. Peace.